In this video, I try to make bread rolls.
No, but say it normal though.
In this video, I'm trying to make bread rolls. First, I go shop for the ingredients, and I get home at some point. Okay. First, I measure 375 grams of flour, and this first
Except that
attempt is.
except that now you're not measuring it because this is when you first started. And you just put it into a wet measuring cup, which was bad. And now you're
Yeah,
just trying to eyeball the yeast, which is also bad. And then you just put it on top, and that's not good. It's not good because you can't replicate it at all when you don't really know exactly how much you're using. And then you're putting salt right on top of the yeast, which also isn't good because that can kill your yeast.
yeah. At first, I was using this measuring cup that like gives flour for volume, but that's not accurate.
What are you doing now?
Now I'm combining the dry ingredients with the wet ingredients, which is now flour, yeast, salt, together with water, and I'm mixing it with a stick or with a spatula thing.
Is it hard to mix?
It gets surprisingly stiff, yes.
What are you looking to do here? Why you keep messing with it?
I try to get all of the mixed dough that is stuck to the spatula to stay with the rest of the dough.
And now what are you doing? How long has passed? Like,
Um, this is the next day. 8 hours have passed at least, but it was more probably. And the flour has risen after it proofed. Now I dust the surface, which was more like sanding in my first attempt. Uh, yeah, I get it out onto the surface and split it up, cut it.
what's this extra flour for?
I When I got it out of the bowl, I noticed that it's very sticky and just presumptuously added a lot of flour in order to help it not stick, but it's way too much and not needed.
Now you're trying to roll it into balls, but it's a little bit off camera. But what you're actually doing is squeezing it into baseballs, which is incorrect, right?
Yeah, I destroyed all my proofing under the assumption that I need to let this or knead this, which is part of why I use so much flour because it's sticky and I press it with my hands, which, yeah, it's not what this needed.
And then you had to go to the store again so that you could try a second time, but you got the dough part right, but you made it too wet. So this is what happens when you make it too wet, right?
Yes, and additionally, I tried to shortcut it a little bit by putting it on parchment paper right away. And because it's sticking, I'm just moving the parchment paper around instead of uh, dividing it.
So now you're just trying to take it out of the bowl and put it onto the parchment paper, but it's way too wet. And so I had told you not to put so much flour, and this time you decided to just put a little sprinkle down the center for some reason.
Yeah, my idea was that when I cut it, that the sprinkled flour would just be there and keep it from going back together immediately.
And it's sticking really badly to the parchment paper.
Yeah.
And did you enjoy this part? Were you having a good time?
I this no, it was sticking so badly that really annoyed me.
So you went back to the store and you're trying again, and this is what happened the very next time.
Yeah, it again won't divide because, well, because of the way I'm trying to do it. Then I was still trying to put the loaves, the little rolls, completely into my hand, which in effect made it stick to my hands again, and everything ripped open when I put them down.
So now it looks like they would be fine, and you're just going to try to let them proof, but then your oven didn't work. So now you're back to the store again to try one more time.
Yeah, this time I go to a place where I have a working oven and different stuff.
So this time you're actually weighing your flour, and then you bought measuring spoons so that you can be more exacting, and you mixed your yeast in before putting the salt in, which was good. Right?
Yes.
And you're being a little insane about getting every piece of dough off the spoon.
Yeah, not waste anything.
And now you know that you're supposed to put some flour down on the surface that it makes it easier. But tell me what you're
Yes.
doing.
I'm getting the flour out of the bowl onto my surface that is slightly dusted. And off camera, I'm wetting the uh, bench scraper and the glove that I'm wearing, so I can just cut the dough without everything sticking to everything and put it down on the parchment paper and cover it for another 1 to 2 hours. Then it goes into the oven, like 18 to 19 to 20 minutes by or at 230 degrees Celsius. And they come out like hot rolls.
I like your elbow patches. What are you doing now?
I'm trying to cut them open to show how they look inside, but they are still a little bit too hot for my hand.
Do you like them?
They are perfect. Better than every roll I ever bought at the bakery.
What do you put on them?
Everything, like butter, honey, everything you would put on a roll.
What do you call them?
Brötchen,
What do you call them in English?
rolls,
What do you put in them? What are the ingredients?
flour, water, yeast, salt.
How much flour?
These are 375 gram flour.
How much yeast?
1.25 grams, like a quarter teaspoon.
How much salt?
1.5 teaspoon of salt. That's like, I don't know,
How much water? roughly?
The last attempts were 300 milliliters of water.
Does it have to be exactly 300 milliliters of water?
I started out with more water, and it can work too, like up to 350 milliliters.
Why would you use different amounts of water?
Well, I tried to make it less sticky, so I reduced the amount of water.
What type of flour were you using?
And this is German type 405 wheat flour.
What do you think the most difficult part was?
The most difficult part for me is getting over sticky dough.
Do you want to say anything else?
Try it, they are really great. And
What?
easy. I was telling our audience they should try it because they are really good and easy to make.
Do you want to say anything else?
That was that.